Alright, are you ready to try this out? I sure am. Okay, open the cover on your belt buckle and hit the button.
This is the city of Birmingham, Alabama, home of the Vulcan's heroes. And this is Lee Walser and his family. Lee goes to Woodlawn High School and dreams of being a superhero just like the Vulcan's heroes. His teacher tells him that even if his grandfather was experimented on by the Army, he probably isn't a mutant. And even if he is a mutant, he won't get powers unless his life is in danger. Later that same day, Lee sees a classmate being threatened with a gun. He tries to help his classmate, and he has some fighting skills, but he's unarmed fighting 4 kids with weapons. He gets hurt badly. But he keeps fighting and manages to beat all of the attackers. Then when his classmate tells him the police are coming, Lee gets scared and runs away. After running almost all the way home, Lee sees the blood on his shirt and realizes that he was badly hurt, but he's already completely healed. When he gets home, he finds out that someone is forcing his brother Eddie to hide drugs. Lee throws the drugs away and then goes out to confront the kid who gave them to Eddie and learn who the punk works for. So he investigates a warehouse where the gang does business and fights a giant supervillain. And he meets Swan Song from the Vulcan's Heroes. He kind of has a crush on her, but he plays it cool. When Lee goes back to school Monday, his classmate Charlie tells him that he knows it was Lee who saved him last week. Charlie tells Lee that his uncle was a supervillain. He offers to use the lab he inherited from his uncle to help Lee become a superhero. Charlie spends some months working in his lab to make all of the equipment Lee will need as a superhero, and Lee chooses the superhero name Paladin. So now Lee's ready to go get a job as a superhero. He goes to Vulcan to try to join the Vulcan's heroes, but he finds out that the city only budgets for 4 superheroes. Still, Mr. Argent, the local director of A-Show, puts Lee on reserve status and offers him some words of encouragement. Finally, in the 9th episode of the show, we get to see Paladin encounter a group of supervillains while on patrol. Wait, the 9th episode? This show has 150 episodes. Pick up the pace. I'll try, but I'm going to have to leave a lot out. Lee and Charlie join the school's academic bowl team, and their teammate Johnny instantly hates Lee. Lee gets stalked by a magical girl who he met in kindergarten. She's been visiting him in his dreams for years, and he had forgotten she was a real person. Since he doesn't sleep anymore, he stopped dreaming, and she thought he was dead. Charlie realizes that Lee's powers are actually magical, and he calls the Order of Merlin. The Order sends Dr. Weird, who informs everyone that Lee and his magical girlfriend Melissa are both Volsung, descendants of the Norse gods, and they're both immortal. It turns out that Swan Song also has a stalker, and it's Johnny DeLasco from Lee's academic bowl team, and his dad is the local crime boss, Danny DeLasco. Since Lee is a reserve superhero, he gets an assignment from Mr. Argent. He's going to go to Florida to capture a Romanian assassin called Lady Spider. But before it's time to leave, Johnny sends someone to try to take him out. Take him out? That escalated quickly. I told you I'd have to leave a lot out. Okay, so when Paladin comes back from fighting Lady Spider, he won by the way, he has to go after the mob. Charlie's uncle, the supervillain, did some work with the mob and left some contact info on his old computer, so Paladin targets a mob hitman, the Executioner. The guy Johnny hired to take Lee out runs a kung fu school, so Lee's friends go to the school and look for evidence against him. There's a cat girl named Kitty living at the school, remember her. Charlie's girlfriend Kathy is really into cat girls, and she gets really close to Kitty. I wouldn't be saying it if it weren't important. Kim's friend Shelly has a popular YouTube channel, The Shelly Show, and she has Paladin on for an interview. Yes, this is important too. Paladin and Swansong raid a print shop where the mob makes counterfeit money and Pokemon cards. An explosion starts a fire and Johnny gets hurt. So now Johnny's dad wants to put a hit out on Paladin, and it looks like they figured out a way to take him down. And Johnny wakes up with superpowers of his own. So Paladin and Swansong go into witness protection, but leak their location to try to trap Delasco's goons when they come after him. It doesn't work, but Paladin and Swansong get a chance to really bond while they're stuck together for a week, and that's important. Since it didn't work, they come out of witness protection, and Mr. Argent tells them to go fight Dracula in a secret missile base built by Charlie's uncle. Wait, Dracula? Really? That came out of nowhere. It turns out the abandoned missile base is a pretty cool place. So, they ask Mr. Argent if they can keep it, and he's surprisingly chill with the idea. Finally, Johnny puts two and two together and realizes Lee is Paladin. It's not even a good disguise. So he takes his dad's thugs with him to ambush Lee at home. And they lock Paladin up using the indestructible handcuffs that Charlie gave him, which they knew about because Paladin used them on the executioner. But they didn't know about the extra key he had hidden. With his kidnapping plan foiled and his secret prison exposed, Danny Delasco had to take it on the run. Paladin saves Kitty from having to live in a flophouse with a street gang. And they all move into Vulcan together while they wait for their new base to be redecorated. And they meet their new mentor. Hey, it's that Dr. Weird guy from the Order of Merlin, who warns Paladin that there's a Volsung hunter who's gonna come after him one day. Some chick with a golden apple starts going around inviting people to a game. We'll come back to that later. Paladin investigates a gang called the Cyberpunks who all have robot parts. That guy in purple is Flip, one of the Vulcan's heroes. Don't get him confused with the Cyberpunks. Then he fights a bunch of baby Krakens, baby Krakens, that got into the city's storm drains. Not sewers, storm drains. And a local cryptid breaks into the new hero base, the Alabama White Thing. And it kicks Paladin over a cliff into Alabama's legendary underground waterway, the Mystic River. That's an old Alabama legend. As soon as he gets back, that crazy chick with the apple invites him to come play her game. During the competition, Paladin meets a lot of other immortals, including the Jade Emperor Wu Fangchu, a Chinese warlord. And he gets a rematch with Dracula. Oh, and these guys saw Lee's ninja friend Billy go with him during the contest, and they know he's part of Paladin's team. That's real important. Paladin loses the contest, but it's okay, none of the bad guys won either. Wu Fangchu did get a consolation prize. He cut off one of Paladin's hands, it grew back, and handed it over to his scientist to make clones of Paladin. But now the team is off to China to try to rescue a bunch of cat girls from the farms where Wu Fangchu raises them to sell. It doesn't go well. Wu Fangchu has thrown China into a civil war, and Paladin's team got caught in the middle. But it isn't all bad. Daddy says that we can get married. Yes, it is. It's all very bad. The team members who made it home come up with a plan to find Wu Fangchu's base by going after the assassin who helped Wu fake his death. They get the information they need, but it doesn't matter because Paladin already escaped on his own. Swansong and Kitty have also escaped with a little help from a Chinese super soldier. But that doesn't matter either because Paladin gets help from a dragon and brings all of his friends to him with a wish. Lee's friends are kind of cheesed about the whole situation, but some Shaolin monks help them feel better. Since Wu Fangchu has made an army of Paladin clones, Dr. Weird gathers some magical friends to cast a spell merging all the clones back into Paladin. Wu Fangchu tried to stop them. Everybody was kung fu fighting. The spell does merge most of the clones back into Paladin, but the dragon is really still on Wu Fangchu's side, so Paladin gets captured again. But it's not all bad, is it? Aw, don't feel bad. You're programmed to protect me. Isn't that nice? Yes, it is. It's all very bad. Oh yeah, when Paladin merged with the clones, his mind absorbed their programming. But this time it really isn't all bad, because since Paladin is going to marry Ling Ling, Wu Fangchu will listen to him, and he proposes a peace plan to end the Chinese Civil War, get rid of Wu's mind control machines, and set free the cat girls. Li's friends don't want him getting married to a princess. So they bring his mother to stop him. Are you crazy? You are not about to get married in a foreign country to a grown woman who you just met. You know she's older than Mama Pearson? But it doesn't matter because Wu Fangchu sets everyone free from his mind control. It's part of the peace agreement. Li is set free from mind control, so Ling Ling decides that since they're immortal, they can wait to get married until after Swansong dies. I don't know Kung Fu anymore. Now they put it all behind them and take a nice trip to Asgard, where an elf queen gives them all golden apples so Swansong can live forever and Li won't have to marry Ling Ling. And that whole golden apple contest seems kind of pointless now. Wait, if they're all immortal, doesn't that kind of eliminate any real drama? Oh no, because they can totally be killed. They just won't get old and die naturally. So they can live forever as long as they don't get killed? Right. But they can just get killed like anyone else? Oh no, they're hard to kill. They don't need to eat or breathe. Poison can't kill them. They don't get sick, and they'll eventually recover from any injury. Plus, they can understand all languages. Oh, so they're basically just cartoon characters. Exactly. And you don't need the risk of death to create drama. There are other stakes they can play for. Superheroes don't usually fight for their own lives, they fight to protect other people and bring bad guys to justice. Even when the heroes are sure to win, it's fun to watch and find out how they win and what kind of surprises they run into. And Paladin doesn't always win. Hey, who are you talking to? You? But I'm you. Well, yeah, but right now you're a stand-in for the audience. Okay, I guess. Look, I do a lot of different voices all the time. And you have conversations with yourself? Look, this only works if you don't question it. No point in questioning anyway if you don't have better answers. Shut up! Hey, is this why you made all those clones? I said shut up! And they finally pick a name for the team. Let's go Team Gold! So, now that they're immortal, it's time to take down the ninjas that trained Billy to be a killer when he was just a kid. I think you'll all agree that fighting people with swords is much safer when you're immortal. But during the fight with the ninjas, Paladin and Billy take a break to play a little game in outer space. Welcome to Galactic Deathmatch! Glad to have you back, Billy. One of Paladin's friends is afraid to eat her golden apple. So while Paladin is busy fighting a cult of Moloch, she gets killed in a drive-by shooting. So her sister eats her golden apple and becomes a superhero who fights against guns. Team Gold goes to hell to fight Moloch himself, and when they get back they find out that someone broke into their lair looking for the 3 uneaten golden apples. And it turns out Paladin's dad wants a golden apple too. But everyone has to forget about all of that for a while so that the team can deal with a bunch of crazy people who want to give everyone in the country superpowers. With a little help from the local police, the crazy people manage to mutate everyone in several cities across the southeast, including Birmingham. But this doesn't change as much as we thought it would, so everyone just goes to their high school graduation, except for Kitty, who's just going into 6th grade. Paladin is tired of getting yandere emails from Ling Ling, so he goes to the Jade Empire to break up with her, face to face like a gentleman. Ling Ling does not take it well. The team uses this situation as a chance to rescue a bunch of more cat girls from Wu Fangchu's farm, but before they can return to rescue Paladin, he gets summoned to Asgard. The Elf Queen is giving golden apples to all the Volsung to save them from the Volsung Hunter and extinction. But of course Loki and the giants don't like the sound of that, no, not one bit. And Loki gets the Olympians all cheesed off about it too. So they arrest the team and all the Volsung and put them on trial for the crime of making new gods. But they didn't arrest Paladin, Melissa, or Dr. Weird because they were away touring the weirdest parts of Asgard to find out who the Volsung Hunter is and how to fight him. Team Gold finds Aphrodite trapped in Tartarus and sets her free, so she gets them all out of there.
So she's frozen because a bunch of guys can't control themselves? That is wrong. Get her out of there.
And there's a big battle to save Valhalla and the Volsung.
Team Gold, Volsung, Elves, Lee's clones, Fire Giants, and Frost Giants. That's 6 armies. A battle of 6 armies.
Ha 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 ha! Then they come home and Paladin gets a Nobel Prize for authoring the peace agreement that ended the Chinese Civil War. Ling Ling shows up in Norway to watch the ceremony, and while they're there, Lee convinces her that the cat girls are not just animals but people and they have human rights. When Lee returns to Birmingham again, he's surprised by some changes. Some members of Team Gold are leaving to pursue new careers, and some new people have stepped up to take their place. A terror group in the Philippines kidnaps a group of American scientists, and half the team is sent to rescue them. The other half of the team is needed at home to help patrol the streets of Birmingham. So naturally, Team Gold works with some Filipino superheroes. They visit a Filipino restaurant, and they fight a bunch of aswangs. You can't have an adventure in the Philippines without aswangs. But superheroes from the Jade Empire beat them to the main villain. And they freaking kidnap Paladin again. And this time he gets Sword Art Online. Until he agrees to marry Ling Ling. Before the wedding, the Volsung Hunter finally comes for Paladin. And Paladin finally learns just what makes him so dangerous. It turns out that giving golden apples to all the Volsung was kind of pointless. Okay, I've got to think, what can I do? At the wedding reception, Ling Ling kills her father and herself, making Paladin the new emperor. While Paladin is taking emperor classes, Team Gold joins an army of superheroes to stop a crazy preacher and his war hero brother from taking over America. Then, while Paladin attends an ancient cosmic kung fu tournament, his family goes hunting a Jiangshi, and Team Gold has to fight a bunch of crazy bee people. This is the royal family of the Metal Realm. That's who Earth is competing against in the tournament. They're using the tournament to get an army of immortal stormtroopers. This has been going on for 5,000 years, but since the Metal Realm is a different world, the two sides don't know much about each other, so Paladin proposes an exchange of diplomats. The two sides don't trust each other. And now you're all caught up.